Authors, aspiring authors, and author entrepreneurs. This is a lesson on why reoccurring passions are never random and how you can use them to build your legacy and strengthen and deepen your manuscript. Let's get started. The passions you have been drawn to throughout your life are not random interests. They could be clues to the possibilities, opportunities, people, relationships, work, the future you are meant to build. Most people dismiss their passions. I believe they're trying to tell us something. What if the thing you've been interested in the last 10 years isn't a hobby? What if it's a clue? When I look back on my own life, the passion that kept reoccurring most, or the interest that kept reoccurring consistently, not once, not twice, but repeatedly over and over again, that I then followed, changed my life in ways I could never have predicted. When I then started practicing the art of nervous system regulation, that expansion took on a whole new level. Expansion of my income, expansion of my consciousness, expansion of my awarenesses, expansion of opportunity, expansion of my desires, bringing the world around me one step closer to my dreams. Most people are taught to ignore these patterns. They're told, be practical, get a job, that's not realistic. They push their passions and desires aside. Fashion, drama, film, music, architecture, travel, real estate. They're taught that these are to be seen as entertainment rather than the clues that they are. But what if we could educate through entertainment while at the same time expanding our own lives? And what if they were data, leaving us valuable clues? A few years ago, I started noticing that some of my interests never left me. No matter what else I was doing, I would always find a way back to them through the content that I was consuming. TV shows, podcasts, newsletters, social media. I wasn't consciously seeing a framework, but I was starting to see a pattern. And that's when I asked myself a question. Not why am I interested in this, but what is that interest trying to teach me? And that question changed everything. Because I started to realize that passions just don't entertain us, they educate us, they develop us, they expose us to new ideas, new people, new opportunities. They shape our lives before we even realize it. The problem is that people just look at the passion and they don't look at where it can lead. This is one of the reasons I created the Passion Matrix, a framework built around a simple observation. Reoccurring passions are rarely random. They often reveal patterns. Patterns around what we love, patterns around what we value, patterns in how we think. And sometimes patterns and where our lives expand to next. Today, I don't see passions as hobbies. I see them as doorways. And for writers, this becomes incredibly important because the things that fascinate us don't just shape our lives, they shape our stories. The subjects you're constantly researching, the industries you're curious about, the people and places that capture your imagination. These interests often find their way into your manuscript before you even realize they're there. And using my tool, the Passion Matrix, you will uncover the interests and passions that you didn't even know you had or have forgotten, because we use content as the activation. Most writers think they're writing a book. I think they're revealing a pattern, because when we take a look at their manuscript, we find clues to what the author truly cares about. Their interests, their curiosities, their reoccurring passions. The manuscript becomes a reflection of the things they've been drawn to all along. And this is why I pay attention when an author tells me they've always been fascinated by something. This is why I've created a framework that can help you consciously layer your manuscript with your passions and interests so that it gets you a step closer towards the goals that you dream of for yourself as an author, for your future. Because that fascination may influence more than just their book. It may influence the audience they connect to, the content they create, the conversations that they have, the opportunities that they pursue, the opportunities that they attract, and the future they build around their work. What begins as an interest often becomes a thread running through their entire creative ecosystem. Because behind every passion, there is often skills, knowledge, opportunity, and creative ideas and possibilities that we haven't even seen yet. Because the passion is just the beginning. Expansion is what comes next. So here is a question I would like to leave you with. What have you been interested in for years? Not months, years. What subject keeps finding its way back into your life because it may be more than just an interest and it may be pointing you towards a future that you haven't even discovered yet? And if you would like to explore more, the link to my masterclass, The Manuscript Blueprint for Success, where we use the Passion Matrix as my expansion framework, is in my profile. This is just the beginning of discovering opportunities, connections, and the infinite possibilities already within you. And they're just waiting to be layered into your manuscript.